Welcome to Realtors Unfiltered, where we pull back the curtain on the world of real estate. No fluff, no filters, just real stories, real advice, and the realities of buying, selling, and everything in between. This is your host, Inas Latif. Whether you're a client looking for your dream home or an agent seeking inspiration and insight, you've come to the right place. Let's get started. Hi everyone, welcome back to Realtors Unfiltered. I'm Inas Latif, and today we're diving into something that every busy professional, parent, and entrepreneur can relate to: trying to stay healthy when life is packed with the prime brim. Let's be honest, between work, family, and all the day-to-day chows, taking care of ourselves can easily fall to the bottom of the list. I know I'm often guilty of that myself. But my guest today, James Burdett, a head coach, personal trainer, and fitness coach at Studio 14, believe it doesn't have to be that way. James helps busy people like us find simple, sustainable ways to build strength, boost energy, and take care of their bodies without needing hours at the gym. We're talking real life fitness, the kind that fits into your schedule, not the other way around. So whether you're listening on your way to a showing, stuck in traffic, or getting in your morning coffee, this one is for you. Let's get it. James, tell us a little bit about your background. How did you get started in fitness, and what led you to Studio 14 specifically?
Sure. So the whole journey started in high school. I was a skinny kid. I was trying to put on muscle for football season, and the quarterback of the team was the strongest kid. He was one of my best friends. And so we just naturally started working out more, going to the gym. The coaches were there. They were trying to show us, form, technique, stuff like that. Anything to get the leg up during the football season. And that continued into the summer, past the season, continued on for quite a few years. And from there, I was determining where I was going to go to college. Mm-hmm. And the first thing that kind of popped up within that realm of fitness and sports and all of that was, I think everybody's first choice is physical therapy. That was like the easy transition, mm-hmm. right? And from there, I went to Damon College and started my physical therapy degree. Did a little bit of shadowing, decided I did not like it at all. It was very boring.
Oh, boring.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I was doing my shadowing with one of the clinics, it was all like older people that had just gotten knee replacements or hip replacements, and you couldn't do much with them.
Yeah.
And it probably just because of like the clinic I was in, but that was enough for me to be like, I don't want to do this
every day of my life.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So I know I wanted to do more in the hands-on weightlifting aspect, because that's where I kind of shined, so to say. Mm-hmm. And so I switched my major into at Damon is basically like their exercise science program, and started taking exercise science classes, more anatomy, and really found a passion, because with biology and chemistry and all, it just wasn't there. I really struggled with classes because I just was not interested at all. And then once I got into the specifics of, weightlifting, exercise, physiology, all of that, it became a lot easier to see that this was something I was actually interested in.
Intrigued you.
Yeah, and wanted to continue with.
Yeah. So once you finished college is when you started personal training, or did you do it during college?
Yeah, so during. At the time, I was working at Lowe's as a college kid, just for an extra job.
Wow.
And
did you have heavy things to lift there?
Constantly. and that was a problem, was everyone else there knew I did that, so they would make me do it every time.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
There was like a pallet of wood that had to be moved. Like, oh, James will do it.
I'm sure you enjoyed it though.
I actually did.
Yeah, I can see that.
I would search it out and be like, oh, you need that move? I'll do it,
Yeah.
But at that time, one of my managers, his ex-roommate was the owner, Jay, of the studio. And we had went out for drinks one night after work, and he was like, what are you doing? And so we were just getting to know each other. And he's like, what are you doing in school? And I was like, oh, I'm going for my personal trainer. And I was just at the time getting my certification for that.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, you got to meet my buddy Jay. And so that was actually, it's a funny story because that was Saturday night we went out, and he texted him that night, and Sunday morning I had the interview.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
And then Sunday, by the end of the interview, I had the job. So,
yeah.
So we just hit it off really, really well. And
it seems so organic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. And we had the same mindset, similar passions, kind of the same story, growing up, to the point where I was like, this is the easiest interview I've ever, it wasn't even an interview,
Yeah.
He asked me a few things like, if you're doing this exercise, what muscles engaged, or like, how would you kind of teach someone this, and this?
Like testing you
exactly.
a little bit?
And then, and I'd answer that real quick and we get back to our other conversation, So, so I started working there during college. I was doing just nights after classes or the weekends. And then after I graduated school, when I changed my major, I was like, I kind of decided that this is where I want to go full time, So that made it hard to finish school because I was like, I already know what I'm doing. I don't need this. Like this next part is just to finish, get the degree and all that. But I already know where I want to be at and all of that.
Hanging on the wall.
Exactly. Yeah. So once I graduated, had decided to go full time with the studio, everything kind of went into place from there.
Mm-hmm. Wow. There's a lot I did not know about you that I learned today. What's your overall philosophy when it comes to health and movement?
Simple is better, and the ability to do more of it is better, right? So the easiest way is especially for busy people, I know that's something that the realty side really focuses on because you're always busy.
Yeah, we work 7 days a week.
Yeah.
What do you want us to do?
Right.
Yeah.
The easiest way is whatever is easiest for you, right? So like you and I, we set up your sessions around what's best in your schedule, right? If it was something that I could only do this, and this, and you're like, well, that's not going to work for me, then it's not a good fit.
Right.
Maybe it's worth pursuing someone else, just so that the time that you're able to put in is the time that you commit to, right? Yeah. And even from there, like simpler is better. So like we do half-hour sessions. That's plenty of time. For a lot of people, that's a lot of time, right? Some people really struggle to find even half an hour to get a workout in, to do some kind of exercise. And if you can minimize the amount of per week, like you're not doing a full hour at the gym, like that because it's always more than that, right? It's 10 minutes to the gym. It's 10 minutes from the gym. It's shower after the gym. So it always ends up being more. So the more efficient you can be, the better.
Mm-hmm. I couldn't agree more. And my advice to busy people like myself is I try to treat it like an appointment, right? A client appointment. And honestly, if somebody asks me to meet with them at that day and time, I mean, I'm already booked is my answer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just like I am booked with any other client. Because honestly, I do believe that one cannot pour from an empty cup. And if my cup is empty, if I'm not healthy, if I'm not taking care of myself, how am I supposed to serve all the people in my life?
Sure.
Including my family, including my clients and my teammates. So I try my best.
You do a good job.
Decent job. So to your point, to try to help people make it simpler for busy people. They couldn't get to the gym because it could be an hour thing. How can they make it simpler? Can we maybe elaborate on that? in terms of busy people's schedule?
Sure. So the easiest thing is that we find, especially within our studio, is that people who work out in the morning are usually way more dedicated and on top of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
That just means that for them to get it done, get it over with, they're able to go on about the rest of their day, and it really doesn't change their schedule, right?
Going back a little bit to busy people and their schedules, what is the biggest misconception most people have about starting a routine?
Yeah, I think the biggest misconception is for most people, they think it's going to be easy,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that it's not going to take too long. Science proves you wrong, right? For most people, it's the day breakdown they give you is anywhere from 30 days to 200 days to create a routine, depending on how, different this aspect of the routine is from your daily routine,
Mm-hmm.
or how committed you are to creating that routine.
Yeah.
So, something small such as, let's say like a morning routine. You want to get up at a certain hour and you want to set things out. So you say, okay, I got to shower, breakfast. A lot of people skip that part right off the bat,
Right.
So
The shower or the breakfast?
could be either. Okay. Working in a gym, you never know.
True. Yeah.
But to be able to create that routine, depending on how difficult a task it is in your daily life,
Mm-hmm.
if it's a difficult task and you do it once and you kind of miss it another day and you come back to it and you miss it another day, it's going to take a long time. Take probably up to a year, if you're not consistent with it.
Yeah.
And for a lot of people, they're good for like a week, right?
Right.
And then the weekend hits, say, and you're back on track Monday and you're back to your routine and it's all out the window.
Yeah. My husband's going to kill me for sharing this, but he's one of those people. Every Sunday, he's like, I'm going to start going to the gym. Tomorrow's my first day at the gym. And he buys a new gym bag every time. We laugh about this in the family because we have a million gym bags, brand new. He either goes that Monday and potentially for another week, and then it falls through again.
Sure.
He's having such a hard time building that into his daily routine.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I have an opposite experience. For me, because it became part of my routine, the day I miss it, if it's supposed to be there on that day, my whole day, almost 2 days later, I'm still off a little
Sure.
bit.
Yeah, and it's easily explained as a snowball effect, right? You miss a workout, you're more likely to not eat so great that day, or
Right.
More likely to sit in front of the TV. You're more likely to do the things that aren't beneficial, right?
Mhm.
Whereas it's also the opposite. You get your workout in, you're like, man, I don't want to waste this 30 minutes that I took and did for myself. So you go home, you eat better, right?
Mhm.
You make the better choice of whatever it is there. And then later in the day, you go, oh, I did that. I'm going to go for a walk because I feel good, And so it's a snowball effect and it works both ways.
Mm-hmm. Now, mentally and physically, aside from the mindset of I will do better this day because I did work out, I'm going to hydrate, I'm going to make sure I eat well, replenish, all of that. Mentally and physically, is there effects that a workout can do that can change how the rest of your day go?
Without a doubt. Yeah.
Tell me more about that.
I'd say like from a scientific aspect, the main thing is the endorphins,
Mm-hmm.
right? When you're working out, they're spiking, right? And you are producing all of the good endorphins, hormones, all that good stuff that benefits the body,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they're going to be high as you recover, right? So a lot of people think of especially with strength training, weightlifting, a lot of people think of like the pump,
Right.
You feel that immediately after. You're like, oh yeah, that's that feedback that you did something,
Mm-hmm.
And for a lot of people, they kind of ride that, which is great because it's a feedback that you're getting to yourself to be like, hey, that's where the snowball effect comes in. I still feel it, so I should continue doing stuff that's going to benefit me later on through the day. And your body will tell you the same thing, like, when you're about to get sick because your body's going to tell you. And when you're feeling good. And when you're feeling good, you're usually able to kind of prolong that feeling and keep it going for however long you continue that aspect.
Right, exactly. What do you do to help clients stay consistent when motivation fades? I mean, we all go through stages in life. Maybe, life happens to
Sure.
people mentally, physically, maybe family, work related.
Sure.
And they can lose their motivation. Absolutely.
And everybody does. Even myself as a personal trainer, I go through bouts where I'm like, man, I don't want to go work out.
Mm-hmm.
The business answer is money, right? You pay for your sessions. That's a good motivator. Money's probably the best motivator for people. They want to get their money's worth for most things, right?
Mm-hmm.
But from more of a emotional, philosophical look, I would say it's always going back to remembering your why, why you started doing this, whether that's to maybe someone who just recently had grandkids and they want to be able to run around with their grandkids, or a younger person that wants to be able to go hike with their friends and do stuff. Like, there's always got to be a bigger why, or else there's really no reason for doing it.
I feel like our society focuses a lot on the wrong why.
Sure.
Which is, size maybe more than anything, weight and size. But there could be a larger, more meaningful why, really. It's health.
And there should be, right? The scale epidemic is probably the worst thing that's ever happened to the fitness industry. And like at our studio, our target clientele is busy moms. The scale is the worst thing for them, right? Because probably growing up, everybody was taught that, smaller number. You got to see that smaller number, when ultimately that's not always a great indicator of overall health. And the more that we find out, muscle is super important, especially later in life. And a lot of women especially were never taught that, and there's a big lack somewhere, and they're always looking at the scale, and if that's not moving, then they're not happy about it, right? And that same thing, it's all a snowball effect when it comes down to it, because if you don't see that number falling, motivation's going to be low. You're going to have a hard time keeping it in your routine, and things become a lot harder. And then it's kind of like a vicious cycle. You don't see the results, you start to fall off, and then one day you're like, man, I've had enough. I noticed that scale's going up, clothes aren't fitting, not happy about how I'm looking in pictures. Like, I got to start. You start, and if it's not a routine, it's super hard to keep that going.
So what would you advise, you brought up women, especially moms and busy moms as well. I'm going to add to that women who are, getting older and going through life changes where this becomes even more challenging, at least from my own experience. What would you recommend their motivation should be if it's not the scale? We're so focused on it, right?
Sure.
Like, I can tell you from my experience, it made me so sad for so long that I can no longer fit in my clothes, and I held on to them for too long trying to fit back into them, and it became unhealthy mentally for me.
Sure.
And physically, actually. Plus my cortisol spiked because of it, right?
Yeah.
So it was a whole very unhealthy situation all around. So what's your advice to these women like myself?
Your overall why should be intrinsic somewhere, right? It should come within. You should say, okay, I don't like how I appear in pictures, and I want to change that, and that's a very vague why, right? But you could say, I don't feel good, or I see it a lot where people are constantly sick. If you're constantly sick, there's something bigger going on, right? There's a disconnect somewhere within the body, and it's always fighting for health, right? So if you are able to notice these things and say that we really need to focus on the activities that are going to benefit us. It makes it a lot easier to find that why.
Quick answer for me. Fact or fiction? You need an hour at the gym to see results.
Fiction.
Lifting weights makes women bulky.
Fiction.
If you're not sore, it didn't work.
Fiction.
You have to do cardio every day to lose weight.
Big fiction.
But this is what we believe.
100%. And I think it's the majority. You know, there's not a lot of education into the fitness, exercise, even nutrition aspect of life. And it's probably the thing that can have the biggest impact on the quality of your life.
So what should we do instead of these 4 things that people believe?
Whatever works best for you, whatever you enjoy, because that's what you'll continue to do, right? So if you like boxing, continue doing that, right? That's a great form of cardio. And a lot of people struggle with that idea of cardio. They're like, oh, it's walking, it's running, it's biking. It's anything that keeps you moving.
It's dancing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And for a lot of people, the ability to find something that they enjoy is more important than any other aspect, because that's what'll keep you doing it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. For me to go on a treadmill to get my cardio in, I'm probably never going to do it. It's so boring. Like, it has to be interesting. It has to be fun. It has to go by fast.
Right.
So I love Zumba classes, and I love cardio kick classes, and I sometimes like yoga classes, you know.
Sure.
But I do the weightlifting too. So to me, mixing it up keeps it interesting.
Right.
And to your point, it's not about how many calories did I burn on the treadmill. It's more about being active, moving my body, and having good circulation, even lymphatic system circulation. It just goes beyond.
Absolutely.
You know, the surface of what we focus on.
There's always a deeper level to everything within health and fitness, because all the way down to like the cellular level, we don't really know what's going on, you know.
And that's really what I wanted you to elaborate on a little bit more. So, you know, for the long game, the health beyond the gym, what would you tell our listeners or help them understand and learn about?
Yeah, it's more important, the longevity game, that you can continue to do things, right? I'm sure you see people who get up there in age and it's hard for them to walk. It's hard for them to bend over. Like those are things that are really going to limit your quality of life. And we want that as life continues, we want the quality of life to stay the same or get better. It should never get worse.
Right.
You know, and as soon as quality of life starts to decrease, that's where a lot of things can go wrong, right? There's more likelihood of a bigger event that's going to happen.
Falls, infections.
Exactly. And especially with older age and falls, as soon as a fall happens, you're way more likely to die, because being in a hospital, you have a higher chance of dying. Like you're trying to prevent all of those from happening, because the longevity is the key. And being able to continue doing these things and do them at a high level is something a lot of people aren't going to be able to do.
Right. I mean, I do believe, of course, we're all going to die one day. But how do we want to live the last few years of our lives, I think, is maybe what we need to be focused on more than anything.
Yeah.
Do I want to live it bedridden and have people have to take care of me? Or, you know, should I be enjoying my life to the last day of my life and being able to take care of myself and potentially others that I love around me?
Right.
So that's the difference, really.
Yeah. Yeah. And I look at it a lot too, you know, whatever age retirement is, 65, 70, what it is, you have all this extra time. I always look at my grandfather. He's 84 now, and he's out golfing almost every other day. And for a lot of his friends, like, that's a tall task. Like that'll wear you out. But he's always took care of himself. He's always been on top of his health, and it allows him to continue to do this at an older age. So when you have more time and you're able to do more things, when you want to be able to do them as good as you are now or even better.
Right, exactly. What are some of the overlooked aspects of wellness aside from gym and diet? Because everybody focuses on diet, right?
Yeah. Sleep.
Sleep?
Yeah, your sleep quality.
Yeah.
That is it's going to create the biggest impact in your life. And you'll notice immediately when it's better and when it's lacking. Mm-hmm. And for a lot of people, the hard thing about that is there's no data to back it up. You know, with your body weight and everything, there's always data. You've got your weight, you can do measurements, you can body fat percentage, all of that. You always know what's going on based on the data. A lot of people do not have data on their sleep. And if they do, it's from like a wearable, device, yeah. Right. And nothing against them, but who's to say that they're incredibly accurate?
Right.
You can get a lot more out of how you feel, your sleep quality, how you feel the next day. Mm-hmm. Your activeness is going to tell you more. A lot of people have that midday crash. Mm-hmm. That shouldn't happen. Right. Ideally. You should be getting an adequate amount of sleep because especially for, let's say, teenagers, they sleep the most, right? Because their body is growing the most, right? So when your body is reacting to the hormones and everything else going on, sleep is more important. Yeah. Right. So I think it's a super overlooked aspect. And a lot of people have gotten really good at saying, oh, I'm just one of those people that doesn't need 8 hours. Mm-hmm. Well, you're a human. So yeah, you might be the 1 out of 10 million.
Yeah. I'm guilty, but I'm realizing that I'm starting to realize that maybe I do need more sleep. But sometimes it's also not how much you sleep, like how many hours. It's the quality of that sleep. Sure. And I don't know if you agree with this, but I believe that if I wake up and feel rested, or potentially I wake up right before my alarm actually goes off, I got a good night's sleep.
Definitely. And there's a lot to say with the circadian rhythm of that, right? So as humans, we're designed to wake with the sun and sleep when it goes down. Mm-hmm. So the idea behind that is it's routine.
That's tough in Buffalo, though.
And it's a lot harder. Yeah. That's why there's the seasonal depression. It means we can't wake up till 8 a.m. Right. And just the idea that we're designed, like there is a clock, biologically, makes it easier to kind of commit to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there are other things people should also consider, posture, hydration, stress level, all of that. It's all connected.
Stress would be a big number too, I would say.
Stress, yeah, absolutely. It's all connected for sure. James, thank you so much for joining me today. This was such an awesome conversation. I'm so passionate about it and learning more and doing better myself, and want to share that and share your knowledge with everybody else that I know. So you remind us that fitness doesn't have to be complicated or even time consuming. It's about building consistency and taking care of ourselves in ways that feels realistic and sustainable. That's what you said, sustainable.
Sure, absolutely.
I think that's the key word here for us. If you'd like to connect with James or learn more about Studio 14, I'll include all his information in the show notes. However, James, how can people reach out to you directly?
Easiest way is through the Studio 14 circuit training. We're at 237 Highland Parkway in Tonawanda. Specialize in one-on-one personal training and small group training, trying to, make it easier for busy people to continue with their health and wellness journeys.
Be able to pop in and do your thing and pop out. It's clean, great environment. I absolutely love it there. What about any socials that people can follow you on?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram and Facebook. Not as active as I would like, but they're there's definitely an aspect to the social medias. We love to keep things going on there. We keep people updated with all of those to, continue them on their journey.
Fantastic. If you enjoyed this episode, please follow Realtors Unfiltered wherever you listen and share it with someone who could use a little fitness inspiration today. Until next time, take care of yourself, stay moving, and keep showing up for the life you want. Thanks for listening to Realtors Unfiltered, where real estate meets reality. If you're ready to buy, sell, or explore joining our team, visit us at inaslatifsalesteam.com. Until next time, keep it real.